their heads up, high heels, going עקב בצד אגודל, the heels, one next to another, make so much noise as they walk, with this huge, how do you say, עקבים.
Heels.
The heels that they had. The Targum Yonatan says something even stronger. He says that they used to put wigs on top of their hair. If somebody has loose hair, not so much, or she didn't look so much, they used to put all kind of wigs to look natural.
They had wigs in them?
Too. Of course, it's not the wigs that they have today, but even that time, that the rabbis that came against this type of wigs, and uberaglehen teachasna. They used to put something that people today even don't know. They used to put perfumes in their legs, in their shoes. Yeah, and whenever they used to come next to men, they used to kick with their feet, and the smell would come out, and this is how they would attract a man.
Why not put it on themselves? Why on the shoe?
Even when you put on yourself, they say don't put too much, so everybody realize.
What if you're allergic? It irritates you.
Good.
I didn't have those issues in those days.
They
not
used
like
to have
today.
it from mol and afarsemon. These are very high quality, natural perfumes. Today we have all kind of chemicals.
Afarsemon, you said?
Mol ואפרסמון.
They were the single women or the...
But not Zion, probably single women, because they wanted to attract men's attention.
And their
So
punishment was that they didn't get married.
yeah, so
But even that's not allowed for the young girls to do it. Even, I'm just saying,
there's a way, there's a proper way how to.
I didn't mean that specific thing, but I'm
Okay.
saying like when a girl dresses nicely today.
Nicely something else
she's
to
a
go
shidduchim
to
or
a date or
something's
something.
wrong?
No problem. But to go, let's
go
say,
that
to a
far,
wedding,
you're saying.
to go to a wedding, so everybody realizes, and
You're
everybody.
there.
Once there was this lady, many years ago, she was trying to convert, I remember, and she came to my house. She was looking for the rabbi. She came to the house. I let her into the living room. She had such a good smell of perfume. I never smelled it before or after. And it was so strong. I felt like I become drunk from the smell. And I'm telling you, it was so strong that 1 hour after she left, I still felt this fragrance, this smell in my house, and she was gone already. And I still said, this is when people put too much.
This is what
You
my
don't
mother
have
was.
to put this.
Yodi mardo bachai, she says. Yodi mardo bachai. She feels bad for the man. How they have to control themselves.
Of course, and this is what I'm trying to get to. If for women, for us, okay, it doesn't do anything. But what about men? Men, it's hard for them when a woman dresses herself in certain provocative way. If she,
Do they realize it, Robert?
Who?
That the ladies, the women, do they realize
They
it?
want
That's the
attention.
question. What kind
They
of
want
attention?
attention.
No, they're getting the attention from their husband, but do they realize it that they're
Maybe
getting
they
the
don't get
attention? Or
enough.
is it...
Maybe they don't get enough attention from
I
their
don't
husband.
think so. I don't think so.
let's see, what
It's
did
something-
Menashe HaMelech try to say? Menashe HaMelech tried to say, put fences. What are these fences that we could put? Not to draw too much attention.
Melech Menashe?
Menashe, he
Right.
told to Rav Ashi, okay, you would pick up the
Right.
garments and run to worship idols, נכון?
Right.
But we tried to purposely to have these long garments, so
Yeah,
running
that's
to this worship house will be delayed. Now, this was our way of fighting against the Yetzer Hara. We couldn't really do so much.
Right.
What can we do to fight against Yetzer Hara, against Tzniut? So there's all kind of, we're going to speak about all kind of details now, but think about this and see. Sometimes, women don't do it purposely, but many times they do. I'll tell you what, the society that we live in America, Baruch Hashem, open society, Western society. People have TVs or internet. People are exposed to the media, to the news out there. You see what they wear, you see how they dress, they tell you how you should color your hair, how you should, what type of hairstyle you should do, what type of clothing you should wear. It's all kind of fashions. And who are those ones that make all these fashions? Usually men. Usually men that are very much into, they don't care about so much about the inner person, about the inner qualities, they care about the outside. Because men, I'm not talking about Jewish people, men, they have very bad evil inclination and they want to satisfy their desires, and that's what they care. Now, to satisfy the desire, they must make this woman that appears in the movies, in advertisements, in all kind of out there in billboards and everything, very attractive. How would they do it very attractive? So she has to wear red lipstick or red clothing, tight clothing. Okay, usually this has to be exposed, this has to be exposed, this has to be as much as exposure as possible so that people will pay attention. Otherwise, you're going so much, how should you look at this billboard? You're busy, you don't have the time. Right?
The kids especially. Kids get it.
They pay attention.
Kids, we took her daughter to, she dropped off her daughter. We went to 71st. The bus went through. There was a girl in bathing suit. And she's covering her daughter's eyes. Let her see it. She's going to tell her mom, let her not see it. I said, are you watching it? Don't watch those and don't look. No, she's more religious. She doesn't let her. The kids, my 7 years old, I didn't even see it. It didn't catch my eye.
Right.
But the
Because
kids,
we're so used to it.
Yeah.
It's like,
Well, the fact that you're used to doesn't mean that you're protected from it,
Right.
okay?
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely kids, their antennas is, and of course you have to pay attention and you have to be careful.
where you go.
And so, yes, this is.
I just wanted to get something clear.
Mhm.
I'm a little bit confused about this.
Okay.
When girls are in shidduchim, so do they? I mean, as I'm speaking to, I'm just thinking maybe like when they want to go out, the men are supposed to look at their inner qualities and not so much on the outside. But are we supposed to like help our daughters to look attractive? And I mean, there's a whole. Are they supposed to like really look nice, or are we supposed to just keep it very sanua?
If she's walking according to Jewish law, a woman can look nice. She doesn't have to look, I don't know, not attractive at all. If she, everything with adornity, everything, we don't, let's say, you don't want her to look very messy.
Standing out. Like you don't want her to stand out, I guess, obviously in a room and cause so much.
She goes to a date with one guy. She's not meeting a bunch of people.
I'm talking about Shabbat, Chagim, whatever. Like on the one hand, you want her to look attractive and nice, but on the other hand, like how much, like is she supposed to look her best all the time, or are we trying to show, like, am I supposed to teach her that her inner beauty is more important than
Of course, you always talk about the inner beauty that's more important, but she should feel good with herself. The guideline should be like that. Would she be embarrassed to look like that? Let's say next to a teacher from school, from yeshiva, her principal. If she feels embarrassed next to him, it means that she's not wearing properly.
Right. No, not embarrassed, but like there's a whole thing about people wearing designer and high heels and like there's very nice clothes or average. Like I'm a little bit confused about where I should steer her. Sometimes she asks me about prices or like she doesn't ask me, but she's like she wants to buy something, and sometimes I don't know if I should let go and let her, because she's already 19 and she's already that age where she's supposed to find her bashet, and I don't know if I should let her hair down or wear a very nice dress or I don't know about the color or whatever, or high heel shoes and all that, or should I like try to teach her or like keep her like more.
Okay, we'll talk about details of Tzniut
I'm sorry,
later.
I'm
in
getting
the end.
personal,
No,
maybe I
no,
should
no
ask
problem.
you.
I'll talk about details about Tzniut later.
Yeah,
But high heel shoes, high
Yeah,
heels.
what's with high heels? What's
Huh?
the deal with high heels?
When we speak about tzniut means not to attract too much, okay,
Right.
attention.
Yeah.
So, if it's a shoe, for example, so you don't want, and everything, not only shoe,
Right.
it doesn't have to be too much standing out. That's the idea.
Mm-hmm.
The dress, the let's say the jewelry, the earrings, the hairstyle, everything doesn't have to be too much standing out. It could be look nice. Huh?
Every heel. It makes noise when you walk, so it stands out.
Well, we put usually something underneath, some kind of a rubber, a tab it's called, underneath, so it won't make a noise. Number one. It doesn't say anywhere that
There's
heels
15
are not
inches.
allowed to be worn, but we don't want too high heels. Well, sometimes people today, when they wear high, today
can't
there's
walk.
very, very high heels.
They can't walk.
And it's hard for them to move even. But this is what they see in the stores, and this is what they think it's appropriate, and that's nice, and that's it's in and it's flashy. So all this nice heel and nice style, classy basically. No problem. She can wear it if she wants every day, all the time. Fine, no problem. It's not against heels.
Right.
It's the shoe. It's the type of clothing. They shouldn't be too flashy. Okay, these are the things. Clothing usually, if we talk about details already, not too flashy, not red, not too tight, not see-through. People don't realize it. Sometimes the skirt could be see-through. Stand in the sun and you'll see it. They see the shape of your legs and everything. So you have to put underneath something. Very important, and people don't pay attention. Cover your knees when you with a dress or with a skirt. I don't understand why people sometimes they're not careful. They're careful with so much laws, but with these people are lenient.
Like
You
what?
see a dress in a store. Not every dress that you see in the store you can buy. You have to measure it on yourself. If I'll put it on myself, will it cover my knees? Will it cover my knees when I sit down? Can I go with this to the car and come out so that nothing will be? So you don't buy everything. You're so careful with kashrut. You're so careful with other laws. You have to take upon yourself, B'ezrat Hashem, now before the high holidays, a little bit extra, whether it's covering hair more or your knees or your elbows should be covered always, or your neckline. People don't realize they wear too open. Sometimes people bend and to take care of a baby or something. People see almost everything. Or sometimes even in the back. Sometimes your upper back is not closed, the shirt, or you have, let's say you have a button. So, and all the opening, it's opened.
The hole.
The hole is open, right? You have to put either a clothing, something underneath, or a pin, or to sew it. The inside you can take it out and sew it so that nothing will be shown. Sometimes when you bend, your shirt comes out of yours if it's too short, and people can see the lower back. You have to be careful with that also. People don't realize. So. So basically, no open neck. You have to learn. They say let's say where the neck here, where the bone here, the collarbone underneath already should be all. Feel it. Underneath should be all covered to all the sides. Shoulders should be covered, and again, for us, it doesn't make sometimes a difference. But the men, they do pay attention. They see. They watch. People sit. Let's say there's a wedding, or there's a gathering, or there's a shiur. You cannot put one foot on top of the other because it will always show. And so when you go look for where you can buy long skirts, or sometimes we have slits in the back, which also always whenever you buy, don't leave it hang in the closet. First sew it and then wear it. first thing you have to take care is to sew it. You can do it yourself. It's not big. You don't have to go and spend so much money to go to the to the seamstress to do it, or you can do it yourself. It's not a big deal. But these are things that and again, the indication will be if I'm going to the biggest rabbi, will I be embarrassed next to him? Nowadays, Baruch Hashem, when I got married, so wearing a mitpachat was weird when I got married. Today, Baruch Hashem, it's so common, it's fashion. People wear it and they have this inside, they call it bobo in which language it's bubble? Oh, it's a bubble?
Bubble?
Oh,
I
it became
know, we say
bubble?
bubble. I know, we say bubble, they say bubble.
Okay, it's a volumized, right? It's volume. It makes a nice shape and volume.
But even there, they say you cannot.
Oh, I thought
Too much, because right, you put jewelry, you don't want to make it too standing out. You put this, you don't want to make it too much.
where's the little girl? It's up to
It's
here.
like literally, what is it? Bubble.
But what about the wig? What about the wig when people have long wig with curls even? I read this story, it's so frightening, and I'm sorry, but...
Don't tell me.
Huh?
You know how many of them I listen?
Oh, I don't
And I'm
want
like,
No, not to say it.
It's so scary.
Huh? Say it.
for us to decide.
No, it really touches me. I can't.
So maybe something to take upon ourselves. Time of one of the rabbis, Rabbi Aryeh, Baal Aryeh, the Beilai, something like that. There was this time a woman in his generation that didn't cover her hair. And the rabbi used to talk to her and tries to convince her, and she didn't want to listen. She felt so good about going uncovered, and she really didn't care about what he said. And sometime later she passed away, and so they buried her and everything was okay. A day later comes to the rabbi a man that worked in the Chevra Kadisha,
No way. She woke up.
and he tells
What?
and he tells the rabbi, I don't know what to do. I had my documents in my pocket, and when I was digging her grave, everything came out and fell into the grave, and I needed this oil. I cannot do anything. Is it possible to open the grave to remove this, to take it out? The rabbi saw that it's very important, this and that. He told him only one condition, that all the people town will be present there, the Beit Din and everybody will, because we need to keep the dignity, the honor of this thing. This is. So they all came. They were there. They were present when they opened the grave, and they saw something very terrible. This woman, she was bald, and all her hair was in her mouth, stuck in her mouth. I don't know, whatever. And wherever hair is coming out, usually in the body, it was full with thousands of worms. That's what it says. And they were shaped like her hair, and people didn't realize the first second, but then they start moving and whatever, and they were shocked how they looked like the curls that she used to have. And this is because she was careless about whatever the rabbi said at that generation, to that community, to cover, and she didn't want to cover. She used to be uncovered. I'm just saying that we have to be a bit careful with wigs, because wigs today, they look like hair. They look more beautiful than hair. And some people, let's say, whenever they used to be before marriage, the hair wasn't so gorgeous or something. Nowadays, they are much more. I don't say we are not allowed to wear it. I never spoke against wigs, and you know me. But be careful with them more. More tzanua, less shorter, less whatever, colors and everything. So, we're afraid, of course we're afraid that people are going to make fun of us, people are going to say how you see how you look like, whatever. But hey, who doesn't want to have eternal life next to Sarah, Rivka, Chevelea? Who doesn't want to have beautiful children, righteous kids, because it all comes from the woman.
I think we're all doing for kids, I think. I don't know, we're all
for yourself too, because it seems different. In a way, you may think, oh, my husband, I'm afraid that he's going to look at other women, so I'm going to look this and this and this for him, this way. But it's not. They say that the men, they respect more than their wives whenever they're covered, not whenever they're exposed. And because we have natural busha would be embarrassment. Let's say a man sees
Shame.
a couple in the beach. Okay, it's not a separated beach or something. So she's there with a bathing suit. Natural to see her there with a bathing suit. So he doesn't move away his eyes or something. But if you will see her that way when he knocks on the door and she opens this way, how she's going to feel? He's going to lower his eyes because this is not the way that she's supposed to look in a house, and he feels so awkward and not comfortable, right? Natural embarrassment that we have. We lack this today because people are so exposed to everything out there, and we're lacking this. So we have to put it back to have this sensitivity again, to bring the kedusha back to Am Yisrael, so that Shechina comes back and everything comes back. It says about the daughter of Rabbi Hanina ben Tardion that she was walking nicely. She was a nice woman, and the Romans were looking at her. The guards standing there looking, and they said to one another, "Look how beautiful this woman walks. Look how she looks nice." So she, hearing that, started walking even paying more attention to the way that she walks. And she didn't do it to attract more attention. She was a daughter of Rabbi Hanina ben Tardion. She did it for L'Shem Shamayim, for Kiddush Hashem. They should say, the Jewish girls, how they have dignity, how they care, how they walk, how they wear, and everything. And they say that she was punished because she was in a high level. There was some time later that they were searching for people, whatever. The Romans put her together with prostitutes in one room. Prostitutes, they have low type of language. They curse.
Why did they take her?
They put her there. They were searching for some people, whatever. Meanwhile, they put her there with these ladies, and she suffered because she was the daughter of a rabbi. And this was because she was trying to. She was even not aware, but she was trying to walk even nicer, so that they would say, Jewish women. So.
How can they even see how a woman walks in those days? They were wearing so many layers.
Where?
The women in those days, they wore
Jewish women.
Everything was long. They wore a lot of layers.
Jewish women.
Jewish women, yeah. They didn't. So what did the Romans see that was like so unusual? Because if you think about it, they probably from here to here.
Back in the history.
So
okay.
What did they see?
Example.
They mentioned mana'im psi'otea shel riva zok. This is what the termination over there. What nice steps this nice woman, the way that she walks. This is what they paid attention.
Interesting.
So we as women have to be careful the way that we present ourselves, the way that we look, and sometimes, ladies, the dignity of a woman is more important than everything. In World War II, the Nazis came into one of the houses and they were searching for women, and then they saw this woman. She has a few daughters at home, and they tell the woman, they order her to undress, and she didn't want to do that. And they started to hit her, and they started to torture her. Undress yourself, and she didn't want to listen to them. And they started to be very violent with her. And the little daughter, looks at her and tells her, Ima, please listen to them. Look what they're doing to you. You know what the mother answered her? She answered her, my daughter, sometimes your dignity is more important than life itself. This is what she answered her.
Yeah, I'm sure she was.
So let's take upon ourselves to be more careful in Tzniut, because when we're careful about Tzniut, our husbands are more careful, our children are more careful, our community are more careful. Be'ezrat Hashem, this will bring, the Mashiach, this will bring the Geulah, Be'ezrat Hashem. Amen. Thank you so much. Sorry if it was a bit harsh.
Beautiful,